The opinions expressed in the Brothers-in-Law show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal professional legal advice.
Thanks for tuning in to Brothers-in-Law on Go Country 105. I'm Larry Mandel.
And I'm Rob Mandel.
And we've been trial attorneys here in Los Angeles for over 40 years.
On our show, we will discuss current events, talk about legal issues, and have some very entertaining guests stop by. So stay tuned every week for Brothers-in-Law right here on Go Country 105. All right, here we are, Brothers-in-Law. I'm Rob Mandel.
And I'm Larry Mandel.
And we want to give a big shout out to the mortgage mom, Debbie. So good to follow you every week.
Yeah, good job, Debbie.
And Larry, you know, I was thinking about...
you were thinking?
I try to do that at least once a week.
There you go.
And since it's Saturday, I figure I might as well go ahead and think.
All right. Hit me with it.
Yeah, and I was just remembering... what some of the media, some of the things that have inspired me, you know, to become a lawyer and to keep practicing law.
Sure.
Some of this great storytelling that we have about legal issues and crime stories and, you know, things like that. Can you think of like a movie or a show that's really inspired you in that way?
Oh man, there's so many, and it's fascinating to see how the storyline develops. To Kill a Mockingbird is one.
That's a great one.
Classic.
We talked about that on an earlier show, some of our favorite legal movies and stuff like that.
How about you, Rob?
Well, you know, To Kill a Mockingbird, Inherit the Wind.
Yeah.
You know, Spencer Tracy is just an insane, you know, performance. And but you know, we are so excited to have on our show right now a gentleman by the name of Van King. Welcome to the show, Van.
Thanks, guys.
Hello,
it's
Van.
really great being here.
You may not recognize his name, but we guarantee you'll know the shows that he's produced and work on. So let me just read a list of some of the shows.
Why don't you read that list?
I will. Okay. Killer Bods. Okay.
That's a
Stranger
good one.
Among Us. Extreme Measures. Killing Time. Killing Closer. Guilty, The Conviction of O.J. Simpson, Deadly Sins, and America's Most Wanted for 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. It's great being here.
So what do you think it is about American, maybe it's, you know, other societies as well, but I think we are particularly fascinated by the legal system and crime stories and, you know, detective stories, all that kind of thing.
Dateline, 2020, all that
America's
stuff.
Most Wanted.
Of course.
What do you think
Great
the
show.
fascination is there?
That's a great question. It's really grown in popularity over recent years, primarily among women. Women love this television genre.
I wonder why.
Well, as I've been told by the researchers and focus groups at Investigation Discovery, which is the network that most of these shows I'm currently doing airs on, is that women love story. Women love mystery and intrigue. And the way these crime stories, these true crime stories are told, unfolds in a way, unravels in a way that really intrigues women.
Kind of like reading one of those, what my mom used to call a cozy mystery.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Like an Agatha Christie novel or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Van, is there some kind of formula for that? I noticed that the shows like Dateline and those type of shows kind of have a formula as it develops into the introduction and then getting the bad guy, so to speak.
We like to choose stories that have what we call red herrings and misdirects, meaning that there are other possible suspects in the investigation so that we can lead viewers down a winding road rather than
like
a direct path.
Yeah, like a little labyrinth in a way.
Exactly.
It makes it more interesting. It's like more suspense that way.
Yeah, and you're guessing, okay, was he the one or she the one?
That's what people love, is they get to sit at home and try to solve the mystery themselves. They're called armchair detectives.
Yeah, it's so engaging.
Yeah. But what is it about us as people that makes us like that? Do you know?
I just think we're born with curiosity. And
Okay.
I think it's really intriguing for people to understand that dark aspect of humanity.
Yeah.
That people who will go to the extreme of murder or harming another individual, what motivates that? What could possibly drive someone to take a gun or a knife, and do what they do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and maybe it makes us feel more safe if we kind of sort of understand it a little.
well, it gives you some closure too. You know?
True. I mean, a lot of people joke with us that men joke with us that they're worried their wives are watching these shows because they're taking notes.
Yeah.
Gee, I got to, you know what?
And they are.
And my wife loves these shows, so I'm going to watch and see if she has a notepad while she's watching it.
Yeah.
Right. South Park did a very funny farce on this genre, and they called it murder porn.
Oh boy.
Oh my.
And so, yeah, America's Most Wanted's no longer on the air, but
Right.
that was one of my favorite shows. And you produced it for 11 years.
I was one of the producers,
Okay.
right? It was such. It was a highlight of my career to be part of that organization and to help bring some kind of justice to people that were without it. They were desperate to catch the fugitive that was out there that had harmed their loved one, and this was an opportunity to help those people.
And were they successful? I don't remember, all the shows, but were they generally successful in
Very.
finding these? Yeah.
Very. Actually, that's something that I'd never understood why Fox, the network that carried it rather, didn't more heavily promote, was the fact that America's Most Wanted, I think it was the direct, I want to say the number is close to 1,200 fugitives were caught over the course of the history of the show, which averaged out to be about one per episode, which the odds are pretty good.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's
because-
incredible odds.
Because now you're getting leads from all over the country because you're putting it out there. It makes sense, right, Rob?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we're talking about cases that police were kind of at their wits'
Baffled.
end.
They were,
They just
yeah.
didn't know where to turn, and they would turn to us last. We were the last resort.
And why do you think you were successful in that regard? Because the face would be published, on the airwaves kind of thing, or
It was all about the fans, the viewers. I
Yeah.
mean, they were vigilant about watching the show, and they wanted to help these people that were so desperate to get help.
Yeah, and somebody could be in a rural area hiding out, and they see it on the show. An audience sees it on the show,
Yeah.
and says, "You know what? This guy
That's
kind of looks
Joe
like
down
him."
the street.
Yeah,
He works at the gas station.
He's such a
down-
nice guy now. What the heck happened?
We had instances where a girlfriend would call in and say, the jewelry you described and the scars you described and the tattoos you described, that's my current boyfriend. And he's in the next bedroom right now.
Wow.
We got calls like that on the regular. And, they would go and arrest the person.
That's intense.
Yeah. Or someone's sitting in a bar saying, he's sitting at the other opposite end of the bar from me right now.
Oh, that's scary.
That would be chilling.
Yeah.
Because you'd be excited because you're doing something really cool. You're
Right.
on that phone,
But you're
and
in
doing
danger.
it. But yeah,
Absolutely.
you'd be.
Yeah.
I would be scared out of my wits.
Yeah,
too.
so-
But
Like
those
I
are
said-
heroes. Those are our regular heroes.
They really are. They really are very
And-
brave people.
And
that
the
make those
host
calls.
was my hero too.
Yeah, John Walsh.
Yeah,
Right.
He lost his child, and
That's
that kind of motivated
horrible.
him, right?
Very horrible.
Yeah.
We're Larry and Rob Mandel, the brothers-in-law, here on Go Country 105. Do you have a legal issue you need help with? We want to hear from you.
Find us on Instagram and send us a message. Then tune in on Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Go Country 105. Hey, if you missed any part of this show or you just want to hear it again, go to brothersonlaw.com for all of our previous shows and all things Brothers on Law. So have you personally always been drawn to that kind of genre yourself, crime stories and dramas like that?
I have. I've always enjoyed working on them. I think because they're true stories.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated by the human condition. What drives people to do these things. And I did a show in Chicago before coming to LA called American Justice with Bill Curtis. And that would explore the legal system. That we looked at the trial system of a murder case.
Right.
Backwards and forwards. And I really got a good understanding of the legal aspects of what goes into a
And
murder
what did
trial.
you find out about that? That it was a slow, drawn-out process.
very.
And justice was not always served.
Not always served,
Yeah.
unfortunately, yeah. And there's so many technicalities in
Yeah.
court that can mess up a murder case. And, a prosecutor can follow to the letter what they're supposed to do, but if
Some technicality.
can
Yeah.
mess it up.
Yeah. But, of course, Larry and I are in the civil end of things.
Sure,
but we
sure.
do trials, and we see how trials can go, and you can see how there's certain things that influence a jury that are not necessarily facts. They don't always judge facts. They're basically judging people, witnesses, the parties. So, if the guy, and of course a defendant in a murder case or a crime does not have to testify. So they can just sit there, but they're still being judged by the jury.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kind of a crazy thing. So, but what about fiction for you? Larry and I were talking about, To Kill a Mockingbird and some of these other amazing trial stories that really inspired us. How about anything like that for you?
Well, as a kid, I was drawn to the novel In Cold Blood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And-
Truman Capote.
Yeah, Truman Capote's first novel. And that is credited with kind of inventing the true crime genre.
That's true.
It's often credited.
And then there was a movie with Robert Blake.
Yeah,
Right?
Right.
Yeah, he played the bad guy. Yeah.
How ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah, how that developed.
Yeah.
So what has been your favorite show? We talked about America's Most Wanted. What has been your favorite show that you've worked on?
Well, that's hard to say. I really have enjoyed working on these investigation discovery shows. Of late, we've had some amazing cases. The shows that are currently airing, Killer Bods is airing this month.
What is Killer Bods all about?
Killer Bods is about murders that occur. It's about killers or victims who are incredibly physically fit.
Okay. Like, who is the very charming, terrible mass serial killer?
Ted Bundy.
Ted
Bundy.
Bundy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Like,
he
I
in the
don't know if
show?
he was fit, but he was very handsome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Is
handsome
he
guy.
featured on the show? I mean,
Nope. Nope.
He's
We-
now gone, obviously.
We did kind of a renowned case though out of Florida, where it was a trainer working in a very high end gym chain, which I'll not say the name of the gym chain.
Makes sense.
But we have them here in Los Angeles and in other major cities. He had been acting up at work and got out of line, and they decided they had to fire him, and he went to his car and got a gun and came in and went on a shooting spree.
He went what we call
For
postal.
losing a job at a gym.
Yeah,
Jeez.
right.
What have you learned anything about human nature through all these shows that you've done?
Yeah.
That that the science behind what triggers someone like that to do what they do.
It's different in every case.
Yeah, and that kind of segues also to, we have these killings, the students, they're going into the schools,
Oh,
the same
it's
kind
awful.
of same kind of mentality. So what have you, as Rob asked, what have you learned?
I mean, these murders are driven by the 7 deadly sins: lust, greed, anger. All of them factor in. Many times, murders are driven by greed over a life insurance policy. Maybe there's a mistress or an affair going on where a person wants to get the spouse out of the way.
But everybody has, I think we all have greed, to
Absolutely.
some degree, but not everyone's going to act on a greed impulse and go kill someone over it. So what is there any kind of common denominator that you have seen in terms of the criminal mind?
Well, I have to believe that all of these individuals have some degree of mental illness happening.
I see.
Some is overt. The people that march into a school or a business,
Right.
the post office, and kill colleagues and completely innocent people.
Right.
That just didn't happen overnight.
No,
Yeah.
no, and that's driven by, I think, voices in the head. I don't know. I can't imagine what that's like, but
Kind of like radio.
I just think anybody else who takes a weapon and intends to kill someone else is just, there's something wires are not fully connected up there. Upstairs.
That's what it is. I think you're hitting the nail on the head. It's just miswired.
Yeah.
Miswired, unfortunately.
I had a client come in the other day who said he was hearing voices, and
And did you lock your door at that point?
No, I told him, have you sought medical attention?
Yeah.
And maybe that's the best thing for you right now.
And then he went to his car.
Yeah. He didn't come back here.
Oh, yeah, here's some medical attention for you. Yeah.
Have you suffered or been injured by someone else's negligence? When you need a legal team that will stand up for what is right, won't give up the fight and obtain justice, call 818-886-6600. Mandel Trial Lawyers specializes in personal injury cases of all types. Whether it's a car accident, product or premises liability, dog bite, or a catastrophic injury, Mandel Trial Lawyers are there for you when the fight is worth it. Call now for your free consultation. 818-886-6600. Let the scales of justice tip in your favor.
So tell us about your other. So is Killer Bods? How do I see Killer Bods?
All right. The network is called Investigation Discovery.
Okay.
And it's one of the Discovery channels. If you get Discovery Channel, you most likely get Investigation Discovery as well. It is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week true crime channel.
Wow.
That carries shows like this all the time.
And is this once a week?
It's
your show?
Yeah. This show, Killer Bods, airs Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And another show that I did this past year that I didn't personally do, but a bunch of us did together, is called Stranger Among Us. And that one starts airing the last Monday of January at 10 p.m. and will be every Monday at 10 p.m. thereafter.
And
Give
what's
us a
that show
byline.
about?
All right. So Stranger Among Us is the premise of that show is that any sort of community of people, let's say it's a baseball team or a high school or a junior league or some kind of women's sewing club, I don't know, a newcomer comes into the group in some fashion, like a new player comes onto the basketball team, let's say. And that player either is a killer or is a murder victim or somehow contributes to a murder happening, is the catalyst for a murder to happen within that group.
The Stranger Among Us.
The Stranger Among Us, yeah.
And
That's an
is
interesting premise.
And does that seem to pan out statistically in your shows then? That what you
No.
just described?
No, not at all. I mean, that's one type of subset,
Okay.
of murders.
Yeah.
This is a true crime story?
Oh, yes,
Well,
absolutely.
that's what I meant. Does it seem to statistically bear out what you just said, that they're either going to be a victim, a murderer, or somehow be the catalyst? Yeah.
Well, we carefully select stories that fit into that profile.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a tight-knit group.
Oh, I
and
see.
then, that group had a newcomer come into the group, and then shortly thereafter a murder occurred.
Man,
Wow.
without divulging your sources, how do you get, these stories like what you're just talking about?
Well, there's a lot of research, a lot of digging that goes on in finding these stories. We talk to law enforcement. We search the web backwards and forwards. But what it really comes down to is the brave family members and friends that are willing to tell the story of their, the victim.
Wow.
And
the Stranger Among Us.
a lot of
That is
people
cool.
don't. A lot of people don't want to reopen that wound,
Yeah, I
but
bet.
the people that are willing to are really are very generous and forthcoming with the story, and it's for them it's transformative. It's sort of a cathartic experience to help them sort of process.
I see.
So what's the most difficult in producing a crime drama story or show?
I think it's getting those interviews, getting
the people to
that-
open up
yeah.
and talk about that terrible experience, because for them, for us, it's kind of like this almost exciting, suspenseful, almost titillating kind of thing. For them, it's a terrible, horrible
they lived
nightmare.
We hear it firsthand from the people who experienced it firsthand. And there's something very, very compelling about that when you're able to hear that true emotion coming from them. The spouse or the daughter or the whatever parent of the loved one.
But the show can be like a healing experience for them, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely can be.
Stay connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and of course, brothersonlaw.com.
Hey, if you missed any part of this show or you just want to hear it again, go to brothersonlaw.com for all of our previous shows and all things Brothers on Law.
So, Van, what's next for you?
That is yet to be found out.
I see.
It's in the works.
But it sounds
okay.
like
You
you
wanna
stay
tell us
pretty
that?
darn busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have been.
Well, you have a
fortunate, very fortunate.
very full background in this area, in this genre.
It's been very interesting.
Sometimes I wonder, when we see all these shows and stories about terrible crimes and bad things that people do, that we get desensitized to some degree. Do you think there's any truth to that? I don't think that I've ever been desensitized, but I wonder, like kids growing up watching this stuff, the more potent stuff.
Well,
that
they
we
have video
on,
games too, where they're
terrible
killing each
video
other.
games, March to War or whatever it is.
I think absolutely.
You think
that's
there
what's
is
going on? Absolutely. Yeah. We see it every night on the news.
Yeah.
You see some horrible, horrible tragedy.
Right. We've got the highway to the internet, and it's so easy to hear about these things, to Google these things.
Yeah.
And they're coming at you.
On everybody's phone.
Yeah.
It's right in front of you all the time.
So I think it's important that the shows that you kind of do bring back that human element to a large degree.
Right.
And make people kind of face how terrible these things really are.
Yeah, I want them to double, think again.
Think
I think
again.
that's-
You don't want to dismiss off this stuff too much. So, I think it's important that we do keep telling stories, true stories and fictionalized versions thereof. I think it's important.
Yeah, it's just amazing what people will do and how, if I can say this, how creative they can get in committing these murders. We've had murder weapons from boat anchors to stampeding cattle.
Using stampeding cattle to kill someone. Now that's something I've seen in old time movie.
That would
Western.
not be in the city, though. I would think.
It was not in the city.
But I've definitely seen that, where they get the cowboys out there and they start shooting and the cattle goes and the longhorns stampede the poor guy.
Is that a Billy Crystal movie?
Well, no, I mean I'm talking like movies from the 40s and 50s that I've seen that actually. I don't think it's a new idea, I guess, but in this day and age it'd be pretty unusual.
You're right. Exactly.
Yeah. Wow, Van. Well, I want to thank you. We want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Sure.
It's interesting to learn about your work. Fascinating. We have some more segments to get into, so we want
you to
chime in.
Include.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Rob, go ahead.
Well, we're going to talk about our fun fact of the day because producer Cam, this is one of her favorite things, and she makes us do this. So we're going to do it. No,
and we comply.
Now, how about we comply? Because if you ever met Cam, you just want to mess with her.
Yeah, don't mess with Cam.
So, did you know that naps can save your life? Taking a nap.
Oh, good.
Research has Research has found that a midday nap can make you more creative, more focused, more fresh for the rest of the day. And one study also found that it can reduce your risk of heart attack. Specifically, those who nap regularly were found to be 37% less likely to die from a heart attack than other coronary problem than those who work straight through the day.
Yeah, we put Van to sleep already. Hey, what's another word for nap?
Midday sleep? I don't know. But
siesta, my friend.
Oh, siesta. Yeah, I want to take me. So, my wife always gets down on me when I save my naps for Saturdays and Sundays. But I definitely will take a little nap.
Not at work. I don't know about that, Rob.
I do have that couch in there, and it's tempting, but I rarely do that. And she's always like, "Oh, I'm gonna take another nap." But now I'm gonna take this fact to her.
Yeah.
Right.
Throw it in her face,
honey.
Now,
I'm saving my life.
You said, "Thank God." Are you a napper?
Yeah.
Oh, I love a nap. Oh,
Yeah.
In my
sense.
early work days, I snuck into one of my executives' offices, and they weren't they were out of town, and I got under their desk.
Nice.
Their very large desk.
This is in the Hollywood, right?
That doesn't sound very comfortable, though, man.
No, it wasn't. It was a little cramped. But I managed to fall asleep, and they had to come in and wake me up because I was
that's
snoring.
hysterical.
That's funny. So Van, we have a little game. It's called True or False on every show.
Well, let's take a nap first.
Yeah,
okay.
and we'll ask whether or not this is, it's a wacky law, if it's true or false, and see if you can guess. Here it is. In West Virginia, it's illegal to take home roadkill for dinner.
Wow. Shouldn't that just be illegal everywhere?
Right.
Well, it's West Virginia. Maybe it's different. What do you think, Van?
It's illegal?
Yeah.
It's a true or false question.
That's good eating.
No, it's true or false. So is it illegal or is it legal to take home roadkill?
I think it's legal there.
Yeah, well, here's the law. Wildlife except protected birds, elk, spotted fawn, and bear cubs killed or mortally wounded as a result of being accidentally and inadvertently struck by a motor vehicle may be lawfully possessed if the possessor...
Lawfully possessed?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Bear cub?
Or to, take home if the possessor of the wildlife provides notice of the claim within 12 hours to a relevant law enforcement agency and obtains a non-hunting game tag within 24 hours of possession. So
I guess,
it's false.
Oh, it's false? So the law, wait a minute now. We got all messed up here.
Oh, I see.
It's not illegal. It's false that it is illegal. It is legal to take home roadkill in West Virginia, except for some certain birds, elk, a spotted fawn, and bear cubs. Okay.
Right, you cannot take those home.
But everything else, I guess, I'm not sure what else
legal
there
if
is.
you comply with their tags and all that stuff.
I guess, can you imagine taking home that squirrel? Or that possum after you run it over with a car?
I don't know. Maybe if you're hungry enough. Whatever.
I bet there's probably people in West Virginia that have been through that experience, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pass on that roadkill idea.
Yeah.
Rob, let's check our
roadkill chili can be pretty
tenderized meat.
Yeah, exactly. Man's got it.
Yeah, let's check our Mandel message box, Rob, and we'll see what's going on.
Okay.
Hi guys, this is Shauna. I hired a guy off Craigslist to do some handyman work at my house, and he got hurt in my yard. Am I responsible?
All right, so I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to say, Larry, you may disagree with me, but Shauna, I think that if he's a handyman, he's not a contractor. He doesn't have a contractor's license, and or a subcontractor for somebody. I do believe you could be responsible depending on how he got hurt. If he got hurt because of some kind of defect on your property or something, that was wrong on your property, you definitely, or something wrong that you did while he was there, you definitely could be responsible. What do you think, Larry?
I think you're absolutely right, but he may also have, and we've had a guest on, Ernie Bongiorno, workers' comp attorney, he might also have a workers' comp case regardless of how he's injured.
That's right. But then there's the privet doctrine and all kinds of weird stuff. Maybe you got to talk to a lawyer if the guy makes a claim against you, then probably your homeowner's insurance would take over, even if they're not going to kick in and pay the guy. They'd pay for your defense.
That's sage advice, Rob.
We're Larry and Rob Mandel, the Brothers on Law, here on Go Country 105. Do you have a legal issue you need help with? We want to hear from you.
Find us on Instagram and send us a message. Then tune in on Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Go Country 105. All right, so it's about time to wrap it up. Larry, say our goodbyes till next Saturday. We want to thank Van King for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, our pleasure, Van. It's so much fun having you on here. So, listen, if you've missed any part of this show or you want to hear our previous shows, go to YouTube, brothersonlaw.com, or you can listen to us on iTunes and Podbean.
We want to thank you for listening, and if you have a legal question or a show topic, we'd love to hear from you. Message us on Instagram or Facebook at Brothers on Law. If you have a legal matter and you need representation, call us for free consultation at 818-886-6600.
That's 818-886-6600.
And tell us that you heard us on Go Country 105. We look forward to hearing you, being here next week. on Saturday at 8 a.m. right here on Go Country 105. And remember, Rob,
Let the scales of justice tip in your favor.
The opinions expressed in the Brothers-in-Law show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal professional legal advice.